Pisces, welcome to a love reading for February 2022. It's Rena here. I don't do love readings every month like I used to, but I do them once in a while. So, there you go. I'm doing a simple 4-card spread, and I will explain what each position means in a minute. Okay. Oh, and this is for single people or people who are coupled and you're not happy. The state of affairs with your love life is connected to the Queen of Pentacles. If you're single, you may be in a nesting mode. So even if you're like 24, you might be going on Pinterest and pinning all kinds of pictures of home decor, and maybe you want kids. Who knows? Whatever that means to you, because the Queen of Pentacles is this domestic goddess energy. And, you know, even if you're like, I'm directing this to women because most of my viewers are women. This is not meant to marginalize men, but this is something that a woman might do. This is a very feminine energy, the Queen of Pentacles. The idea of somebody, let's say a woman is over 30 and she wants to have children and she wants to be a stay-at-home mother. She doesn't want to be in the workplace. For a Pisces woman, this might be kind of like your cup of tea, actually, because you're a feminine sign. So you might just be tired of that, tired of the rat race, but not necessarily to escape it, but just simply that it's time. If you are retired even or getting close to that, you might be looking for a life companion that, you know, because you're home a lot and you want to just do things with a person. You don't want to be alone necessarily, but not coming from a place of fear-based thinking. You know, that's never good. We're supposed to bring somebody into our life as a complement to our life, you know. And so if you are coupled and the Queen of Pentacles is here, you may be feeling like you can't relax in your home because your environment is not as tense. And so really pay attention to things like that. I can't understand how people can live in this kind of a Cold War in their own home. It doesn't really seem like it is preferable to being alone at all. But anyway, it's funny, I get the Queen and I get the King. So the past energies that are creating this within you is related to the King of Swords. So in a lot of cases, to me, when I get the King of Swords, I get this feeling of somebody who's shut down their emotions, maybe to kind of just get through something. So if you are a widow or widower and you just had to kind of live life and not and try to feel as less as possible. I'm not saying that's a great idea, but that's a coping mechanism to get you where you want to be later on, you know. And when you're in the throes of grief, if you are somebody who is in your 20s and you came from an environment that was very tumultuous growing up, maybe you had to kind of steel yourself. And believe me, there are some Pisces people that can do that, even though you're a water sign, especially if you have air, because the King of Swords is connected to air energy. But if you have like let's say you have the moon in Gemini, moon in Libra, or Aquarius, and you're able to tune out, and you can have inner planets in Aquarius too, like Mercury and Venus and or Mars, and that can make you a lot more detached. And sometimes we have to get into that King of Swords mode because the feelings are just too intense. And what happens is if you're shutting down those feelings of sadness or grief or whatever, and then you're trying to find love, you have to make a switch, right? You can't just keep living in that way. And so with the Queen of Pentacles, it's more receptive. Queen is the water element, inviting feeling into your life, inviting, nurturing, wanting someone to nurture, is now there. So it's kind of going from one extreme to the other, but for a good cause, because you had to get through some situation. If you are in a unhappy relationship, and I use a term marriage to also involve people who are not legally married but are in serious relationships, you may have recently discovered that your partner is a narcissist. When I see kings and queens, I do sometimes think of narcissists. And this person, you may realize this person doesn't have any feeling. And that's why they can say cruel things. That's why they can do things and not care and not feel guilty about it. And the point is that you don't have to, if you're dealing with somebody like that, you don't have to allow that person to continue to gaslight you or whatever, because the King of Swords is a master manipulator on the mental level. Now, you could make the argument that that would be true if the King of Swords was reversed, but because I'm talking about an unhappy marriage, it's almost like I'm reading it that way. So, the more that you show upset at what they say, if somebody says something really cruel, they're looking for a payoff. They're looking for a reaction from the other person. They're also projecting their own, feelings of self-loathing onto somebody else. So there's things that they're doing, and if you refuse to react to that person in the same way, they don't have that power over you. And that might be something that you realized. If you had a father who was very emotionally remote, then you may have gotten involved with somebody who is just like him. And now you're kind of connecting the dots. What can you do as far as, what your next steps are and things like that? We have the Seven of Wands. This is about pushing back. If you're like, in the dating scene, I wouldn't even recommend necessarily defending yourself and sticking around. I would say that if you encounter somebody like the King of Swords while you're dating, that you recognize it and that you not deal with that person unless you think it was just something that is a one-time shot, that they just were being careless or something. But if you can see that somebody is constantly trying to make you feel not okay, then you don't want to get into a situation where you're constantly defending yourself, because that's exactly where they want you to be, because then you're not in a powerful position. You're playing defense. But at the same time, you can, make a statement that you're not going to allow that kind of treatment into your life. And it's like you're saying it to yourself. It's not even that you're saying it to that person, because you may never see that person again. But you're just letting them know where you stand. I would say the same thing, like if you were in the workplace and you might not quit that day but you're letting them know that you're not going to put up with it. If you're married and you have been kind of a doormat and you've allowed somebody to just treat you any which way, you can say the same thing. You could say, I'm no longer um, allowing myself to be put down like this and disrespected. That's not going to happen. And if you do this again, I will walk away. And then you have to follow through. But in the meantime, you may, depending on that other person's reaction, if they get very incensed about it, then you know that they have no intention of changing and they're just trying to be mean to you because they feed off of that. So it's not that you're saying it in order to get them to change. You're realizing that there's a very good possibility that they're not going to change. You accept that, and you're just doing it basically for yourself. The outcome is the Ace of Pentacles. This is new beginnings for everyone. The Ace in love, the Pentacles can be a relationship that is long lasting. Pentacles connect to the earth energy, so it could be specifically the signs of Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. So it can be like a fruitful type of a new relationship on the horizon for you. And of course, that happens when you are, doing your part to ensure that your relationships are, any relationship that you are involved with is not a dead-end relationship, that it has some possibility. And with Pentacles, it can be like someone who is reliable, somebody who you can count on. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a love reading or any other type of reading, you can click on the link below. Take care. Bye.